This is the weekly Grifball Hubcast, only on GrifballHub.com.
Good morning, everybody. It's DJ Blue PDX, and you're watching the Sunday morning Grifball Hubcast. And it is, well, it's 9/11 on my coast, which means God only knows what time it is where you guys are in Normalsville. But
11. Hey.
11:11. And of course, with me are Sonic Chaos or Nachos. I don't care at this point. I love I like Sonic Chaos instead. And of course, Oogy.
Hey.
So, I'm using a different headset today, so I don't even know if this headset sounds right. But it's early. I have my coffee. Cha-ching. And we're going to be talking about some AGLA stuff. So much ridiculousness has happened in the last couple weeks with various different aspects of both Grifball, the hub, people involved in other projects coming to an end, that we are going to kind of just slowly roll through it all while we do our thing. By the way, if you are in the forum, head over to the Twitch channel, and we can talk about it in there. Your turn. Somebody talk. I gotta type.
Hang on, if you are in the forum, head over to the Twitch. Oh, are you actually typing and you're just saying what you're typing?
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
All right, I was confused too.
I'm just like, wait, if they're in the forum, surely though they wouldn't be hearing this. So what?
Yes.
Why is that?
Nope. I'm just doing my thing here. Hang on.
Well, I know we're going to have an interesting end of the AGLA season. What with the roster changes so much.
So many roster changes, and it's some of them are great, some of them are ridiculous, some of them I don't understand why, and others are just causing all sorts of bonkers heartache. From what it looks like, we're going to have 3 Hammer Conference teams and 1 Sword Conference make it to playoffs.
I feel like it's not going to matter.
Just speculation.
I feel like it'll be Impulse, Next Dimension, in the shit, basically, at this point.
Okay.
I don't see who else can compete with them. I mean, Impulse has not lost a game, I don't believe, all season. Next Dimension has only lost 2.
They lost a game, Impulse, to Vital Signs once.
Okay,
but
they
then
haven't
we didn't have
reported
Galvanator then either. So that's the only loss I know of for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see what other teams can realistically hope to beat them in a best-of-3. I mean, like in a single game, obviously anything can happen with some of those high-caliber pro teams, but for like in a best-of-3 series, I don't see anybody who can consistently win 2 games against Impulse when it comes down to it, aside from Next Dimension. So that's probably what it's going to come down to. I'd be very surprised if not, but who knows? Teams choke in playoffs. It's happened. Taylor Kant made a name for himself doing it.
Yeah.
However many, I think it was 7 seasons of going to the championship without winning.
Wow.
It was
This is the weekly
man.
Hubcast. So there we go. I'm just finishing up the tweet on this, twitch.tv/GrifballHub.
So yeah, if anybody listening ever feels bad about losing in a championship game, just remember, it can always be worse. You could lose 7 straight championship games.
Ouch. Yeah, that's kind of terrifying. All right, so as far as news goes, what teams are currently still in the running and which teams are not? I know that I'm fairly certain that my team may not be in the running any longer.
I'm pretty sure you are not making playoffs. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty sure. So, and that is not by any, and I just want to clarify, that is not by any way, shape, or form due to any one person specifically. It is just suddenly all of our lives shifted and our schedules all just went haywire, and that sucks. But it was fun while it lasted.
We don't get to see if my prediction was
tried.
accurate because you guys are basically dead. At the start of the season, I was originally going to do a stats article where I went through and analyzed basically every single credit value of every team in AGLA history and plotted them against their final win percentage in playoff and whether they made playoffs or not. And no team, I'd have to actually pull it up here, but no team who has spent less than 350 credits, I believe, has ever made it to playoffs.
That is not shocking.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a little sore.
It's just common
And
sense.
I posted that, and I think there was 2 teams this season. I think it was
Pro Run?
I think Rebels team and Pro Run. Legitimate Strategy and Pro Run, I think both were under that 350 mark. And I'm like, sorry guys, better luck next year.
So
Let's see if I can find this thing.
Pretty sure it's Notorious,
There it is.
Next Dimension, Hybrid Theory, Impulse, and Vital Signs.
That's what I would expect. That's 5 teams.
Pretty much.
Are you
it.
saying who's in the running?
pro.
Yeah. Yeah, Notorious
I
would
don't
be
know about
interesting because if
Andy,
they can
though.
make playoffs, they should have Bostic back for playoffs unless his ban gets extended into then. Because I thought it was just until the end of the regular season.
I think it's just
originally.
season.
Yeah.
it's just Boss
Yeah.
is just out for the regular
So if
season.
they can just win enough games to make it into playoffs, they should be in a very good position come playoffs, and they could be a bit of a dark horse there at that point.
Now,
Vital Signs has been very good since the Katori trade, but we've seen him we've seen both good games and bad games from him. There was the 5-4 loss against One Hit Wonders, which was running which was basically more of an AMI team than a pro team by that point because of all those call-ups. So
It was half AMI, half pro.
yeah, that's right. It was two call-ups. All right, let's see. I have these stats
given
numbers
the
pulled up
recent-
now.
AMI games, they had AMI games the same time as pro games, and so One Hit Wonders had like 3 forfeits last week. Just because
Wow.
the AMI players had to play their AMI games. So
wow. Speaking of AMI, let's talk about how AMI's progress is going right now, because I know there's several shakeups that are happening with regards to the teams and the progress that people weren't really expecting. In fact, from what I've heard from people talking while in lobbies, etc., there's a lot of players that rolled into some games confused about why their team didn't win the game and why the other team seemed more talented than they were led to believe that they would be.
Because you're bad.
Well, I'm not gonna put names out there, but I am gonna say that I did do a little investigating into this situation, and it turns out that it's probably not the wisest idea especially if you're relatively new to the leagues, it's probably not a great idea to take the advice of a captain that you are competing against and listen to that captain's observations about other teams, because there's a chance that captain might actually just, be sabotaging you and telling you things that aren't necessarily accurate to watch you get your butt beat. And that's not uncommon, and it's probably wise to make your own assessment and always roll into each game with your A game and try and do your best to adjust in real time how you're going to play that game. Otherwise, you might end up in a game where you're suddenly feeling shocked that, oh my gosh, we lost to them, only to find out, yeah, duh. That was my response to the whole situation was, well, why? What? Of course you did. So, just not throwing anybody under the bus, just saying it's a wise
try to
thing.
roll into every game thinking everyone's better than you.
To be honest, in a competitive
Yep.
league, if you don't go into every game like underestimating your opponent or thinking that that the win is guaranteed, you're probably doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So I did pull up that stat sheet that I was talking about earlier, by the way.
Oh, good.
340 credits. No team that has spent less than 340 credits has gotten a win percentage higher than about 0.375.
Really?
Huh.
All right. Now how far away are we from championship, from playoffs? Actually,
We're very close. I think this is the last week coming up here.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then we're going to be having. Then we've got the 1 week. Everybody fixes their
semifinals
Yeah.
and finished games and reschedules.
Awesome. And those, of course, will all be viewable right here on twitch.tv/GrifballHub.
Yep.
So, all of them. So we're going to be having some extra streams probably throughout the weeks, aside from just Wednesdays and Thursdays, and we will keep everybody posted on that. Make sure that you tune in and keep track of us on Twitter at GrifballHub or at Grifball. I don't think we use the at Grifball anymore. We need to be doing at GrifballHub.
Yeah.
We
Grifball
we
most
have
of it.
both. I've seen the Grifball get used as well, but not as frequently.
Yeah.
It's something that needs to be used, though, because with the amount of followers that it has, I don't know why we're not using it more. I think
Definitely.
officially, I think that account is the AGLA's Twitter,
Okay.
because that was originally created, I want to say, by Caleb. Or Caleb got control of it at some point. I'm not sure how it passed. It passed a lot of hands before we finally got a hold of it.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
We're also going to be soon experiencing some fun with revamping and kind of re-imaging the streams. We've got some new talent coming in that was part of my creative team over at Pro Battle League. The other half of my creative team, Pro Battle League, and that was Kenny and the Spartacat, who did all of the graphics over there. And you two have been introduced, so you guys have seen some of the things that he can come up with, and he is going to come and help us not only as we transition into this new realm of game show and out of OBS, since I've got us game show on a partner deal, so we don't have to pay for it. Nice. And we are going to be promoting for them, as well as being able to use all sorts of new transitions and fun additives, which is going to be great. But so and just to cover that one, since I sort of brought it up, the Spartacat and I did resign from the Pro Battle League on Tuesday, and it is something that we decided to do together. Cool. And that is about all I'm really sure I should say about it. I mean, if you have questions, of course, you can talk to us directly. But yeah, we are now full. We're going to be focusing on our careers.
They're full-time GrifballHub members now.
Right.
We own them.
Well, we've got so many different things happening with regards to offers that are coming out to the table and offers that are being put out on the table for everything from upcoming situations and things we're going to be broadcasting at PAX West, which used to be PAX Prime, along with other projects that this is going to, I think, really help launch our careers the way it's supposed to, into actually financially viable jobs. It'll also make us look prettier here, so that we have just have a good image of expansion.
Yeah.
I think that whole last section should be
grander, better.
Don't let me talk. My coffee hasn't kicked in. I'm realizing I don't even know if my sentences are making sense at this point. It is early. What? Exactly.
That was my line.
I word good.
I are smart.
It actually is. It is one of the most difficult languages, to be honest. If you look at how all the grammar is constructed.
Even native speakers have trouble with it.
That's true. I think native speakers have more trouble with it than most other people, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's been my experience.
So. Most of them.
I was going to say something about hood rats and troglodytes, but I figured that would just be totally inappropriate, so never mind.
So, anything else about AGLA that we should talk about? Seems to be wrapping up pretty nicely here.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that the team is 4-4. It feels like we've lost more games than that. It also feels like we shouldn't have lost as many games as we have, but we're all old people.
Well, and we are going to be... Well, and as AGLA wraps up, we're going to be looking to start gearing up for GGL, the Good Games League.
Right.
And just to clarify, for those who are not aware, the GGL is our recreational league. So unlike the AGLA, which is a bid league competitive situation, the GGL, while is still competitive, it is also a league where you can grab 3 of your friends, 4 of your friends, 5 of your friends, grab a group of people that you like to play with, sign up as a team, and then you can play in the leagues. So it's definitely a little bit of a different variable because these are teams that oftentimes have players that have been playing together for years. I have, since my first day of stepping into the Grifball world, I was part of one of the founders of the NSAA, the Never Serious About Anything Grifball Club, and we've been around since, although I am not sure if this season the NSAA will be returning, which means I may end up...
which means that you end up playing for Team Caboose.
I may end up on Team Caboose, or I have had offers from multiple others, so I will be looking at those, but I think it's also time that I take a look at starting DJ's Respawn All-Stars.
Yeah? What about Daddy DJ's Big Hammer Squad?
I think I'm going to leave that just for RTX, only for appropriateness.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that at RTX it's more appropriate than here?
Well...
Yeah, because at RTX you can actually see how big the hammer is. Wait.
Yeah.
Well, and that came out wrong.
Okay, DJ. Crazy.
That's not what
replica hammer from... God Galaxy.
It's early. I'm
Power
sorry.
Galaxy.
Oh,
DJ
God.
professionalism, please.
All right. Anyways,
I think DJ's Respawn All Stars is a good team name. I like it.
well, because I'm really good at dying.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, that's what's happening. GGL, do we have an estimated start date for when we're going to be opening signups for GGL?
Not as of yet, as far as
Nothing
I'm aware.
officially.
But most likely we are probably going to be looking September at some point, maybe early October at the latest. That would be my guess.
Start looking out for word to be spread on the hub and our Twitter and Facebook pages about it, probably right around PAX. Either right before or right after, which would be awesome.
I imagine that at some point in September we're going to have more information out as playoffs start. We start getting into the playoffs proper for AGLA, and that season starts to wind down.
Speaking of things that happen around PAX, we're going to have several Grifball members up at PAX, including myself and Rageborn Nerd will be there, along with Pro Ace Joker, and several other local Grifballers who are up there. We're all going to be joining at PAX. I'll be working with Games, the people who make the Vanguard cases. I'm actually going to be working at their booth, as well as with Twitch and Hyper RPG, who gave us some huge screen time over the last month when I co-hosted the Do Better series on their channel. Our final episode, I want to say, had 612 viewers.
Nice.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So and that got us a lot of attention. I know there's going to be some people, although they are PC gamers, who ended up going out and getting the game just because they're like, all right, well, this could be fun. And they will probably, hopefully, be joining us with the Hyper RPG team for GGL.
Cool. Because I know several of them were like, I don't have a console, so I can't play with you guys. And they were just like, why? I want to play Grifball.
Yep.
It was good.
So now that's all resolving itself.
Bring
Especially
Halo
now
back
with
to
the drop in
PC,
price.
this wouldn't be a problem.
Especially with the return with the recent release of the Xbox One S. I don't know if you guys had a chance to play with one or to see what they do, but they are really impressive.
Like, if I didn't have an Xbox
speaking,
One, I would get it over the original, but I wouldn't upgrade from the original to that. It doesn't
it's so
add
small,
enough.
though. My thought is on it. It basically, I might consider swapping out my at-home box with the box that's in my games case, and then getting take my original, trade it in towards the 1S, so I could have a smaller unit in my actual games case, because it would make it a lot less heavy.
It would.
Right.
Easier to plug in, and I could actually fit my power bricks and stuff inside it in their bags, instead of having to carry them inside of a separate bag.
I mean, to be fair though, most people don't have their Xbox portable and carry it around as often as you do. So for most of us, that is not a major consideration.
Yes, but see, if it's easier for me to carry it around, then whenever I come to visit all of you wonderful people,
I'm saying it makes sense for you. I'm saying for the rest of us, that isn't a concern.
For the rest of us, for us normal people.
For us plebs.
you guys don't take your Xboxes to friends' houses and play there?
Friends.
That's what the internet is for.
Wow. We played that.
No,
So
what?
the
The
NSA
only
played
what I'm
Dying
time
Light
I
one.
brought my
Heat.
Xbox One anywhere was to bring it down to RTX.
Huh.
That's the only time it's left my apartment.
Yes, I am bizarrely on the outside on this one. I literally take that thing everywhere.
If you do care about portability, then yeah, it makes sense because it is quite a lot less heavy and it's quite a bit smaller.
It's
And
tiny.
I think its 4K capabilities I think are a little bit better as well because it's lets you play 4K TV or something along the other. I haven't looked into it that much, but
Yep. Well, and it can up convert things and down convert things, which is interesting.
yeah,
All in real time.
Like on my end, if I'm watching 4K stuff, I have my old streaming build that I brought to RTX in 2015 hooked up to my 4K TV, and I use that for 4K streaming. I don't need my Xbox to do it for me, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a very good point. Wow, this charger's hot. Okay, so next on the list of things that we should talk about why we need 343 to give us inflatable kangaroos to ride during Grifball games. I think we should explore this topic because I think it would be
don't even
interesting
have a response.
if walking was bouncing, and they just kept bouncing, and you couldn't really jump, but if you could super jump, that could also be interesting. And you had the golf club to play like croquet or what's it called when you do it on a horse? Polo. We play polo.
Yeah.
Grifball polo. Griffalo.
I think part of that's having the whole
Polo
custom
ball?
type weapons in custom games.
Oh,
Or
but
all the
it
weapon
is
variants,
there.
like the golf club.
The golf club's in.
Yeah.
In Forge, there's not the loadout. You can't start a loadout that way.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
But
you
we
have to
still-
go
we still
in
need the
Forge
kangaroos, though.
into the game type and go pick it up.
Yes. We still need the kangaroo.
So yes, that's a big part of it too.
I mean, we do have Dr. Leo's Bouncy Castle. It's kind of the same thing.
It is.
I'm just going to go ahead and answer Kid Tonga right now. I just want you to use sound effects instead of bleeps. Instead of bleeps,
Yeah.
it's funnier.
Clown horns. Mix it up.
Clown horns. fart
DJ yelling
noises.
goal.
Go.
Actually, I'm going to type that right now.
Just do a bunch of voiceovers for him, DJ, of like really ridiculous phrases that they can slot in.
Mm-hmm.
Car crashes, goats, cats,
What?
dogs, blenders, car doors, screaming children,
Well,
etc.
yeah.
I mean, just to be fair, we're trying to make this professional, people, so let's just put clown horns in. I like that.
That was my first suggestion.
Or donkeys. The sound
Yeah,
of
What are we
a...
even doing?
At this point, I don't know. At this point, I think the show's over. We're done. We've covered it all.
There was something I
Unfortunately,
was going to talk about, and I've already lost it because DJ just distracted me with all this talk of
Yeah.
clown
That
horns
was-
and noises.
Derailing.
can you imagine if somebody... can you imagine if, if all you heard was rain? Say, that stupid mother... Goal!
All right.
You son of a... Oh,
That's what I'm saying, DJ. Just do voiceovers for him.
Totally.
A bunch
They
of
should.
random phrases that they could put into those sentences where it would make sense but would be completely unexpected.
Eat a bag of Grifdonkulus.
There you go.
All right. So we've done AGLA, we've done GGL, and there's really nothing else, is there? That I can think of.
Not that we can really talk about yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's in the works so far.
Yep. Yeah. I know. I talked a bit about the circuit last week, so
Yep.
no point in commenting a little bit
Yep.
more. Actually, though, I will give a shout out to Pimp, who has been putting in a lot of work on it. He actually
Yeah.
recently got the grifball.gg domain, and he's going to be converting that into a sort
Good.
of a test site that we can use for that to have stats and everything and whatnot, and hopefully in the future we
Nice.
can integrate that directly into the hub.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That would
Maybe
be great.
even
And
work
that's...
with the Waypoint or Halo Tracker or something like that kind of website.
Like, if you go to halo.gg, which is their esports site, that's sort of our base, that's sort of our reference that we're using.
Okay.
You know, and that is one thing I want to cover just as a point of reference. One of the things that we are doing while we are adjusting and upgrading and upscaling the level of the Grifball Hub here on the site, the streams, our community involvement. One of the things that we are trying to do actively and openly is we are attempting to attract sponsors, because the goal here is to attract sponsors to a point where we got companies, groups, product developers, or manufacturers who want to get involved with the hub because of what we do and how much exposure we can provide, given the fact that we are the longest running competitive esports, e-league for Halo that's ever maintained its existence. And in doing so, the goal is to get our prize money funded for seasons, as well as RTX or events, etc. And in doing so, part of the necessity for us upgrading and maintaining a level of professionalism is in order to properly represent ourselves in a way that is going to be attractive to them and make it. What are there words that I know that I should be using right now? Just
Follow the
edit
hub
out
rules, and we don't have a problem.
There we go. Follow the hub rules. We don't have a problem. Everything should be good to go. But understand that's why, if you guys have been hearing me about, hey, let's try and keep it appropriate, that's why. It's not necessarily because I'm trying to be a dork about it. We definitely want to be attractive to investors and sponsors, and they don't want to sponsor people who act like children. And
wider
don't get me
audience
wrong,
as possible.
we all know that
right.
we love giving each other a hard time, and that's kind of half the fun of being in the hub. But we also know that when it comes to outward appearance, there is no stronger community that is more, I was going to say gangster, but that is more family-oriented as far as being a collective group of people that you don't want to mess with.
Camaraderie.
That also comes up. Camaraderie. There we go. Because you can't break us down. We always
English
stick
is
together,
hard.
and it is. And you know what? You might always want to cut this whole end of the conversation out of the Hubcast, only because I've just completely screwed up the entire point of this thing. My coffee is gone.
I actually
Sad
don't drink
panda.
coffee.
Yeah, I know. And then there's you. Instead,
I drink
you
alcohol
wake
instead.
up. You drink alcohol and nachos. That's what you do.
I don't
You
even
could
eat
have
that-
an
I don't even
if
eat
you
that
could have a
many
nacho.
nachos. Last year
Then
was
why
the
did
first
you name
year.
yourself nachos?
Last year was the first year that I only had nachos once at RTX. Every other year, I've had it for lunch almost every day, just as a joke. But I couldn't do it last year because they were disgusting.
It's like
All
Taco
right.
Pizza Hunter,
They were
not
just
hunting
they
tacos
were
and
like
pizza.
flimsy chips. It was like I
Yeah.
didn't even finish it. I think I ate like a couple. I'm like, okay, no, it wasn't worth the $5.
Wow, it was $5 for terrible nachos.
I think
That's
it was
awful.
$5.75 actually.
Ugh.
That's conventions for you.
Yeah, it's true. All right, well, I think that's all I have on my list. And I'm really just, this is probably I've ruined this. This is why you don't let me up in the morning at this hour. If we're going to do this again, I got to be doing it later in the day. So I've actually got a full night's sleep and I'm awake when we do this because it's Sunday at 9:40 in the morning and I was DJing all night.
I still can't remember the thing I wanted to talk about.
Seriously?
It's gone. It's dead.
Damn.
Wasn't AGLA related?
I don't remember. I
it
can't remember anything
GTL?
about it. I just know that it was there at one point. And now it isn't.
Oh. Okay.
I blame you,
Mm,
both of you. You derailed this.
dang it.
You made this
Don't
happen.
think so.
Oh, that's one thing. Notes for people making podcasts. Real quick. This is important. There's this thing called licensing that happens when you, and I am totally all for people wanting to add soundtracks and music in the intros, outros, and behind their shows. However, there's this fun little group of people called ASCAP and BMI. They are the people who are in charge of all royalty licensing for intellectual property when it comes to music. If you are going to be putting music in your podcast and you would like to publish said podcast, please do not use music that you do not have a license, a written legal permission from the actual studio to use. If it is a song you like, great, that's totally awesome. But if you put a song in there that you don't have the rights to use, that you risk your podcast being served a cease and desist if it's heard on things like YouTube or other places that you have posted it. So be very careful with that. If you'd like to know where you can find royalty-free music actually on Twitch's website at twitch.tv/music, or just do a search for.
There's a whole
royalty-
library
Google it.
actually. Both
Yeah,
Twitch
there's
and YouTube. They'll have they'll have search features where you can go through and see how
Yes.
how the licensing works.
And
Like
so please,
with YouTube, it might just be you can't monetize it and whatnot. But I know Monster Cat tends to be very good about their sort of
Yes.
stuff.
Monster
That's
Cat's-
the one label that I consistently see up there, and a lot of more smaller and up-and-coming artists are also very good. Approaching Nirvana allows you to use your music for YouTube videos as long as you give them credit in the description. Arix, AHRX. I've used his music in videos before. He's very good, and he's the same sort of restrictions. So you can definitely find stuff like that.
Yeah, so just be very careful with that. And there are a lot of options. It just takes a minute to research those. And I know that everything that is licensed free and royalty free on Twitch is all usable on YouTube. Not all of it from YouTube is usable on Twitch, though. Just as an FYI, so I would always say go with the safety. But please, you know me, I love music. I'm a DJ. That's what I do. Don't stop using it. Just make sure that you've got the licenses to use the right stuff. And that you are allowed to, because I would hate to see it get accidentally pulled because you used something that didn't have permission to use. So, just saying, we love all the community content. Thanks for continuing to create it. Thanks for being appropriate when you're doing it. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. And now that I've got more time to focus on the Grifball Hub again, there's going to be a lot more coming and happening. So, yay!
Can't wait.
In the meantime, I need more coffee, and I would like to eat blueberries with my dog.
I'm just gonna end it there. I don't know how to respond to that. I can't follow that up.
That's all, folks.
My Great Dane likes blueberries. Just saying. All right. Later, players.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Grifball Hubcast. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @GrifballHub for all the latest in Grifball news and entertainment.